now. Why you got an outtake? You're a bower. What do you want me to say then? My name's Lawrence, I'm 28 years old and I'm the owner of a 1984 Audi Quattro UR Turbo. It's Alpine white, completely original, never been restored. It's been in my family for 25 years. It's previous to my father's car, pretty much the car that kind of kick-started my love for cars and pretty much anything on wheels really. It's kind of a car that's always stuck out for me, not just for that reason, also for the fact that I think without that car, things would be pretty different now. It was so advanced in its day, you know, four-wheel drive, permanent four-wheel drive for that matter as well. 200 horsepower, and obviously you've got that 5-pot noise as well, which is always a bonus. But I can't imagine what it was like to drive that sort of 30 years ago. It must have been absolutely crazy. It's just a brilliant bit of like automotive history and design. It's kind of, well, like a well-beaten rally car, but for the road. It's difficult for me because obviously in my age all my previous cars have all been like relative to today's sort of standards, so when you look back obviously the car's older than I am, so it's really difficult for me to kind of relate what cars were like in that day. I've not really driven anything else of that kind of age to relate it to, so you're obviously going to get like the gearbox for example is kind of like stirring a pot of porridge to be honest in comparison with today's standards, and obviously the brakes are not the best. Part of the appeal to me is the fact that the car is totally original, like it's exactly how it's left the factory, and I don't want to change that. So I know a lot of people these days will go for big turbos and AB racing brakes, coilovers and that sort of thing, but kind of think that gets away from what the car was originally and what it still is today. So yeah, it is a superb bit of kit, like the way it gets off the line is absolutely brilliant, handles the road really well. Have to physically drive the car, it's not like today where they kind of drive themselves and you're a passenger most of the time. It doesn't really come on boost with sort of 4,000s, there's quite a bit of lag, but once it gets going, obviously you know about it, does shove you down the road, and the grip is just phenomenal. So yeah, I mean it's a nice place to be as well, like it's comfortable, you've got all the toys, like I mean it's fully digital dash, which like by today's standards is a luxury, and like back in the day, like 30 years ago, like that is what came with the car. Obviously things are getting a bit different these days, like especially when it comes to tyres. It's a really odd tyre size, like a 215 50/15. So at the moment they're extremely difficult to find. I don't think they've released any tyres in that size since like 2009. So short of going for some sort of road legal semi-slick, it's getting difficult to find, along with a lot of other parts as well. They're just not made anymore. It's an appreciating classic, which at the end of the day is always a nice thing to have, but for me I don't think it's anything that's going to be leaving me anytime soon. There's too much sort of sentimental value for that for me to consider getting rid of it, I think.